if not, then just that. Okay,
Yeah.
coming from a complete novice, what is with the leg swag? When you come in hard braking, everyone
Yeah.
has their leg just out there doing stanky leg.
I used to think it was like super dumb. I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. And then 21, Loris Baz, who was my teammate last year and has become one of my best friends. At the time, we were like battling on the track, and I saw him doing it going into this corner. And I just one time like saw him do it and I did it. And then I was like, whoa, like I finally realized what was happening. I think there's people that say different things all the time. But
Okay, well, you're a
I
champion,
think,
so
yeah, I think for me, what it does is if I'm going down the straightaway and I sit up for the brakes and I'm going into a right hand corner, I sit up and if I was to just stand here and do it, if I throw my inside leg off, which would be my right leg, it stands me up this way. It gives you like a counterbalance, right? So what it does is it keeps me from the bike. I'm looking, target fixation, right? I'm looking over at the apex of the corner. Like I don't look way ahead like some people coach. I look pretty like pretty close to in front of me, but you glance at the apex, you like see where you want to go, and you naturally kind of like start going that way. And with the hard braking on the front, and we're downshifting gears, we get engine braking, so the rear wheel is slowing down more than the front wheel, so it starts to like lock up, and that's why you see the bike kind of come sideways, and then that starts pointing you in that direction. So when that happens, if I'm counterbalancing with my inside leg, it helps me be a little more patient, before I drop into the corner. Um, there's some other reasons why people say, but for me, that's what
mm.
it does the most. And um, yeah,
Part of me was just like, it was kind of like an FU to the dude on the inside. Like, you can't pass me because I'm blocking the inside line, but then that, it almost makes you want to be the asshole that just runs over his leg. But then you think about like, all right, I'm entering a corner at 100 miles an hour. Maybe I shouldn't hit the leg of the guy because it's going to explode me too. So,
there's some people that do that. There's
so they
some
do use
guys
it
that
to
like
block.
do it wider. Oh, for sure. I'm trying to think if I've ever done that. Um,
So it's your guys' form of like a brake check is what it is.
Nah. Oh,
Potentially.
yeah. I mean, I guess you could. No, I would say that every now and then, like if it's last lap battle, like that little bit of extra width, like might help mess them up a little bit. They might squeeze the brakes a little bit before they decide to like dive bomb inside, and then they'll run wide because they had to release brakes, whatever. So maybe sometimes, but no, I use it to help me with the counterbalancing. There's a lot of stuff though that I mean in racing, that's like my favorite part about racing is the kind of like I don't know what you would call it, like
Head games,
thinking
mental
about, yeah,
stuff.
that, yeah, like the head games and like where I pass, when I pass, how I pass, and just dive bombing in certain spots or sitting on the side of somebody all the way until like the very edge of the track to where they can't pass you back and then you come in. Like that's, to me, that's racing. That's
Mm.
why I come back to the races. That's why I'm so hungry to come back. Obviously I make money and that's how I make a living, but that is what brings me to the races and gets my adrenaline going. It's not just getting on the bike going 200 miles an hour. Like that doesn't do it for me anymore. Like it's not, my drug is like bar to bar, banging elbows, like getting like super close calls, running off in the grass, fighting back up, stuff like that. Like that's, to me, like that's why I love it. So, um,
Is there ever times when you have like a rival that you guys are kind of not getting along, so you will push him way wide to make it to where like other guys are coming up underneath him type of a deal? Like, is there
um,
any type of head games going on like that where you deliberately slow each other down?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, AMA, they came up to me this year and they were like, I've always been, on kind of like the going to the principal's office, I guess you could say. Like, and I feel like a lot of times it's just because something that happened in the past and they want to hold a grudge, and then so they're always looking for me doing something.
It's better ask
Uh,
for forgiveness than permission.
yeah. But they came up to me at Road Atlanta and they're like, the AMA does not like the word retaliation. I'm like, okay, so if somebody passes me, I'm supposed to not retaliate and pass them back. Like, is that what you're saying? Because like Bobby Fong last year, uh, I was leading the race at Road Atlanta. It was the first race of the year, and he ran me off. He like just stuffed me so late that you either get hit and risk crashing or you run off the track. And I had to run off the track. I went back to like 10th place. I caught back up to fifth. I was going like a second a lap faster, or so whatever, three-quarters of a second faster than the guys in the front to catch back up to him in that kind of like, what I said earlier, that red kind of
Hmm.
flow state, right? And this year, you know, this year I was like, if I get the chance, I'm doing it back. Like I've never held on to grudges, but I'm getting him back for this one because it pissed me off when he did that. Like I was angry. And so I did it back to him. I did it in the rain, but I didn't do it as dirty. I just instead of dive bombing him and giving him only one chance to stand it up, I just did the pass, like I said, where I kind of like, run him wide and then turn as late as I can. And he came over. Oh no, actually that was Saturday. And I ended up, I think that was Saturday in the rain. I think I got a third and he got like a 10th, or maybe he crashed out eventually. Like he ran wide there, but then he crashed out later, I think, or something. And me and him we've been racing. We turned pro the same year. I think '06 was both of our first years. And we've always been friends. Like he's stayed at my house. We get drunk together. But then we're, trying to fight each other on pit lane. Like there's probably been 5 different times where I'm like, let's fucking go. Like, and it's just, you're just
Yeah,
seeing red and adrenaline's flowing.
there's no friends on the
Dude,
racetrack.
friends are for dinner. Like,
Yeah.
I've always been taught friends are for dinner, and it doesn't matter if it's my brother. It doesn't matter. Like I'm competitive. So when for me, it's not as much money as it used to be. But like if we win a race, I'm gonna make 20 grand. So it's, I'm going out trying to provide for my family. So you took that 20 grand away from me by doing that, and I know you're trying to provide for your family too. But like I'm gonna be pissed. So yeah, I ran him off or ran him wide, and then in the morning warm up he went by me at like this spot. I think I was coming into the pits. I was going like I was offline, going pretty slow in the braking zone. I knew he was coming behind me, so I was like leaving space for him to get by. And he did like to me, other than just hitting somebody, the dirtiest move in racing is where you pass somebody on the brakes and we're going 190 miles an hour, and then you cut over on their front wheel. So like you pass and immediately imagine like you're on the freeway and you just
Yeah, you're trying to force the guy to slam on his brakes or
oh
he's
yeah,
going down.
right. Like brake checking somebody basically because he's hitting the brakes hard, and I wasn't expecting to hit the brakes at that spot. And it is so sketchy because you're locked in right there because his wheel was on the left of my front wheel, and on the right of me was grass. So I can't move left and I can't move right. All I can do is try to slow down more. So I was pissed, and instead of
And
coming
what
in the
race was
pits,
this, Josh?
this was at Road Atlanta, so 2 rounds ago. And instead
Oh,
of coming in the pits, I stayed out and I just made his life a living hell for the next 2 laps. Like I just passed him in sketch, like just in spots he didn't expect it. And then him coming into pit lane, I just like cut over in front of him and going down pit lane. Last year, I got mad at him for blocking me in qualifying, and I came up to him. I was like, "You're riding like a bitch. Like get out of my way." I just got all mad at him, and he just came up to me calm, and he's like, "You good, bro?" And I remember it just made me see red. I'm so
it
mad.
just makes you more mad. And you
So
don't
we
just
did.
do it that intentionally too.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So we argue with each other, but then we're all good. Same thing, right? All good. So after the warm up, we're going down pit lane, and he lifts his visor up, and he's like, "You good?" And I just like grabbed him by the arm. I lifted my visor up. I pulled him like close to me because we're going. This pit limit is like 40 miles an hour for us. So we're like we have a pit lane limiter that holds us there, right? It's just like whoa, 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 whoa. And we're riding down pit lane. I pull him over, and I was like, if you keep fucking with me, I'll do it back. Like you're the one with stuff to lose because this is like a big year for you. Like he has a lot to prove. It's his first year as a factory ride, and it's like he's got to perform. Like this is his,
Mhm.
one of it. It could be his last chance to like really show what he's got. And I know that. And I'm on a team. I just won the title. I'm on a team that likes me. Like everything's healthy. I have the potential to bring in money anyways to the team. So I feel like, yeah, I could lose my ride next year, but I feel pretty good right now. I was like, I don't have anything to lose. Like I'm, or I'm not trying to prove anything is what I was trying to say to him. So like I can mess with you during practice sessions and I'll be fine.
Yeah, there's a
So
saying, never contend with a man that's got nothing to lose. right?
Yeah. So then he comes into my trailer like 30 minutes later, and he's in his leather still. He comes in hot. He's like, "Hey, what'd you say to me?" And he's by himself. No one's in there. He comes in, "What'd you say to me?" And I told him everything I said to him. I was like, "I can mess with you all year long. So if you want to keep messing with me, I'll do it back to you." Like I grew up racing with guys that just took me out all the time, and no one got penalized for it. And it just was how it was. Like they rode dirty back in the day, and it was like older guys, like guys in their 30s that were just taking me out as a 16-year-old, right? So I'm used to that stuff. Like I said, it gets my adrenaline going, and I love it. So I told him they would just it ended up being this huge fight in the trailer. Like we were about to throw blows, and one of my guys grabbed him. Like we were sitting like this close to each other. Like the closest I've ever been to going at it with somebody at the racetrack. And my guy grabbed him and he left. And then that day he beat me. And no matter who it is, no matter what happens, if somebody beats me, I'm shaking their hand and I'm gonna tell you good job, like because you beat me heads up. Like I know we were both seeing red that day. We both wanted to prove something, and you beat me. So I shook his hand, and he says, "Oh, we're good." And that's how it always is, especially between me and him. It's like we could hate each other. And an hour later, when the race is done, like we both know, like our adrenaline's dumped, like we're good. Like everything's fine now and we're buddies. So that's just how it's always been our whole career. That's how it is with most riders. Like you can hate each other, but we're all gonna go have some beers after. The only time that you cross the line is like you bring family into it, or you actually like act on your words or something like that. Then you can't just forgive and forget. But for the most part, it's just we're all out here, man. Like you said, there's a mutual respect, and we know we're putting our lives on the line, and we're just trying to feed our families, and so we get it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is you guys know that, hey, we're here, we're doing a job, right? And there's the respect there because they're risking their well-being just as much as you are.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing.